And we're here with Stephen Keppel, our economics editor, once again. And Stephen, President Obama has been all over the country this week promoting his jobs plan. Yesterday, he spoke to a very targeted Latino audience in Washington for the first time in that specific fashion. So many of our viewers at Univision News were wondering, about these economics numbers. For example, how the economy will affect their own personal finances. We have a question from Jose Castellanos online, who asked about how he can pay for college, how he can get access to funding. What do you say to him?
Yeah, well, we're seeing a lot of questions and fears about personal finance, and paying for college is a key issue, especially for the Latino community. And here at Univision, obviously, we have a big focus on education with the Ese Momento campaign, and I think we'll be able to answer a lot of these questions in more detail. I'm not an expert on financial aid, but I know there's a lot of good information out there. And actually, during the week of October 16th, Univision will be hosting Education Week here in Miami and across the country. And so I think, my answer to that is stay tuned to Univision, Univision.com and Univision News to get more answers on this, and keep asking us those questions. But I think Univision believes a lot in education, and paying for education is key.
Now, I was out on the street yesterday interviewing people about, the state of the economy, and one person had another question for you, and he was wondering why Obama wasn't giving tax breaks to companies that are the ones that are going to create jobs. So what can you say to him?
Yeah, again, I think it depends on who you're labeling as job creators. This is part of the debate now. Is it large corporations or is it small businesses? The Obama administration has targeted their tax cuts to small businesses and small business owners, because they are believing those are the companies, the businesses that are going to really restart the economy. And actually, they are responsible for a high percentage of the jobs in this country. Larger corporations, obviously, also are, there's a lot of employees that work for these big corporations. They're kind of left out of a lot of the tax cuts in the Obama jobs bill. Their reasoning behind this is that they're already getting a lot of cuts or tax cuts because of loopholes. So they're able to take advantage of a lot of tax loopholes, and there's this big thing, that saying, a lot of people are saying that GE, for example, paid no taxes last year. So the Democrats are saying, why should we give tax breaks to these big companies like GE and others? Whereas on the other side, it is true, it doesn't make a lot of sense to raise taxes on during a time when you want people to create jobs. But it all comes down to who you label as job creators, I think.
And that's very important. And of course, another set of figures that was startling this week were the poverty figures that came out. And over here we have Nicole Cardoso, who was wondering how these poverty figures reflect on the state of the country and the state of the economy. What can you say to her?
Yeah, basically we got some pretty shocking numbers in a report this week that said that the poverty rate, or the percentage of those living below the poverty line in the U.S., which I think the rate is about, the rate rose to about 15%, which is the highest it's been, I think, since records began. And basically the poverty line is, I think the limit is for a family of four, about $22,000, $23,000 a year. And so, that's an extremely high rate. For Latinos specifically, the data showed that 27% of Latinos in the U.S. Were living below the poverty line. And this is a pretty significant figure. And what it means is that it just exemplifies the weakness of the economy. And it exemplifies the fact that the recovery is going to be slow because the middle class is shrinking. The numbers, that's the biggest thing I took from these numbers, is that the size of the middle class is shrinking, and it's going to take a lot more to really grow the economy and get it going again. I think that's why there's a lot of frustration with Washington and Congress, because people are really feeling the negative impact of the economy. Poverty is going up, unemployment is still high, and they just want people to act.
Thank you so much, Stephen.
Sure.
And that's our weekly report on the economy. We urge you to continue sending us your questions to @Univision News. And we definitely look forward to that segment on education brought to us by Univision on the week of October 16th, right?